According to the US EPA, plastic makes up a little over 12% of all the municipal waste in this country, about 36 million tons a year. Only about 9% of it gets recycled. Those figures are from 2018, and newer estimates place the recycling number down around 5% today. One growing part of that waste stream is plastic printer cartridges. While cartridges made by the original equipment manufacturers, OEMs they're called, can be remanufactured, refilled, and reused, cheap imported so-called clone cartridges that have flooded the market can't. It's becoming a problem for electronics recyclers and having a major impact on printer cartridge remanufacturers. The reasons are complicated. We spoke with Sean Levy and Eric Sherman from Planet Green recently via Zoom.
First and foremost, clone cartridges may infringe on the OEM intellectual property, and that's a big issue, and no remanufacturers wants to take that type of risk on that. Another issue is there's no recycling demand for the plastic cores. The cores are basically the body of the cartridge. So because they also may have ink and toner in it that's a contaminant, so mixing that with other plastics could be problematic.
The clone cartridges are made to look like OEMs, and sometimes deceptively labeled as remanufactured.
The whole remanufacturing industry was established originally to handle the OEM waste and to remanufacture those cartridges and put them back into the cycle for reuse. And those can be done over and over. And what happens is that these cartridges, when you make them, they're adding additional waste. The production of them uses up energy, natural resources, produces greenhouse gases. It's just additional pollution in our society.
Cartridges that can be recycled are sorted and inspected, then cleaned and refilled with ink. The cartridges are then weighed and tested and then repackaged for sale. Those that can't, an estimated 375 million a year, end up in landfills.
Another industry that is impacted by this issue is the electronic waste industry. The electronic waste industry, nationwide, we get calls and they reach out to us just about every day, asking us if we're willing to take all that waste off of their hands, meaning that are we willing to take used cartridges off their hands? And we're not talking about just a few cartridges. We're talking about pallets, tractor trailer full of used toner cartridges that they really don't know what to do with. And our industry was there to work hand in hand with the electronic waste industry, where there was really value for empty ink and toner cartridges a number of years ago. Today, it's considered trash. There's no value. Nobody wants to deal with it. And the only thing that's left is basically throwing it in the garbage, which ends up in the landfill.
Along with the environmental costs, there are economic ones as well.
It's had a huge impact. If I go back to when the industry was flourishing a number of years ago, when it was mainly U.S. remanufacturers across the nation, it was an industry that was booming. In 2006, for example, we had 130 employees, and we had about 6 months of back orders. Today, we're basically fighting to make a profit, and we have about 50 employees. Now, that's just our company. All of our friends and competitors, U.S. remanufacturers, a lot of them that were around in the city that we're in the county that we're in, are no longer around.
Sean's company has started a petition on change.org to ban the importation of those single-use clone cartridges. You can find a link to it on their company's website, doorstepinc.com. You can also find information on recycling your printer cartridges there.
People need to understand that that if nothing is done, all you're going to be dealing with is huge amounts of waste. And they really need to take notice that what they're buying and understand the effect it is not only having on the environment, but on the U.S. economy too as well. Because in the end, if there's no more solution on handling this waste, it's going into landfills, it's being incinerated. It's just plastic garbage. that won't decompose. It just sits in our environment some way, shape or another.